Hi, everyone. Today, I want to share a few things that people often misunderstand about us Japanese, along with some fun facts to help clear things up. Hopefully, this will be helpful if you're planning a trip to Japan. 1. Japanese people are individualistic and cold. Have you ever seen comments like this on internet forums? Posts that say Japanese people are all about individualism, that they're indifferent and cold toward others? But at the same time, you might also see posts saying that Japanese people are friendly, which can be pretty confusing, right? Let's get straight to the point. The truth is, this idea is half right and half wrong. Half right? What does that even mean? I get it, if you're not Japanese, that probably sounds really confusing. So let me explain a bit more. First of all, Japanese people are both individualistic and group-oriented. That probably sounds like a contradiction, but it's true. Why? Because from a very young age, Japanese people grow up doing all sorts of group activities. One of the best examples is something called Bukkatsu, school clubs. Basically, almost every student in Japan joins some kind of club at school, whether it's for sports, music, art, or something else. It's a normal part of student life across the country. And, depending on the school, there's usually a lot of freedom in what kind of club you can join. Some schools even have clubs for quiz games, anime fans, or esports. Because they've been doing these kinds of group activities since they were kids, Japanese people naturally develop a strong sense of group belonging. But at the same time, they can also be a bit exclusive. Here's what I mean. Japanese people don't necessarily feel the need to be friends with everyone in the group. Instead, they prefer to spend time with people they click with, people they enjoy being around. So even within one community, it's totally normal for small friend groups to form. That might be why some people get the impression that Japanese people are cold or distant. Next, let me explain the individualistic side of Japanese people. You might have heard people say that Japanese aren't really interested in others, and that's mostly true. But a more accurate way to put it is that Japanese people believe everyone is free to do what they want, as long as it doesn't cause trouble for others. There's a common saying in Japan, as long as you don't bother others, you can do whatever you want. Because of this, Japanese people tend not to care much about other people's hobbies or choices, as long as those don't affect them directly. But don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean they think it's okay to do anything at all. Japanese people strongly dislike bad behavior, like littering or harming animals. So, as you can see, Japanese people are generally very tolerant when it comes to how others live or what hobbies they enjoy. That's why if someone prefers staying in their room and doing their own thing, as long as it's not morally offensive or harmful, most people don't think twice about it. In fact, many Japanese people enjoy doing things solo, a concept often referred to as ohaida raizuma in Japanese. It means doing things like going to the movies, eating out, or shopping completely on your own, just to enjoy it at your own pace. For Japanese people, this way of thinking is totally normal. Some even go to Disneyland alone just because they love it, and no one really finds that strange. Most Japanese would simply say, if you enjoy it, that's great. So rather than being an individualistic society in the Western sense, Japan is better described as a country that's tolerant of individualism. So yeah, Japanese people can seem both group-oriented and individualistic, which might make them seem a little complicated. Since they grow up in this kind of environment, they get used to sensing how others feel and adjusting their behavior, keeping some distance or getting closer without even thinking much about it. But here's the thing, it's all kind of vague and unspoken. So if you're not used to it, it's easy to feel like Japanese people are being cold or distant. But don't get the wrong idea. It doesn't mean they dislike you. It's just that Japanese people tend to live happily in their own little worlds, and they act the same way with pretty much everyone. Next, let's respond to something we often see online, people saying that Japanese people seemed cold when they visited Japan. Now, sure, it's possible that some people did have a cold attitude. That happens anywhere. But I don't think that's the full story. In my opinion, many of the people who felt like they were treated coldly probably tried to speak to Japanese people in their own language, like English or something other than Japanese. This especially applies to people from English-speaking countries. To be honest, you guys tend to overestimate how far English can take you. Yes, English is spoken in many parts of the world, but Japan is a small island nation in East Asia with a very unique culture. Almost everyone here is Japanese. Daily life is conducted in Japanese, and honestly, most people don't speak English at all. In fact, outside of big cities and tourist areas, it's still pretty rare for people to even see foreigners in. Of course, English is a required subject in school here, so most people understand a little. But since we almost never use it in daily life, the overall skill level is low, and when a native English speaker suddenly starts talking to us, we honestly can't understand most of what's being said. And like I said before, in many parts of Japan, it's still rare to even see a non-Japanese person, let alone talk to one. So what happens when someone suddenly speaks to us in a foreign language? To put it simply, we panic. We're like, what do I do? That's why some people might just say sorry and walk away. It's not because they hate foreigners. Please don't take it personally. Actually, most Japanese people don't really distinguish between different types of foreigners. For example, when it comes to other Asian people, we might notice certain differences in looks or language and get a vague idea where they're from. But beyond that, we honestly can't tell. We don't really categorize people as black or white either. To most Japanese people, everyone from outside Japan is just kind of grouped together as foreigners. It's almost like seeing someone from a completely different planet, like an alien. That's how unfamiliar it can feel. So, if you tried speaking English and someone didn't respond well, please don't assume that Japanese people are cold. Most of the time, they're just confused or overwhelmed because they don't understand the language. In fact, Japanese people generally welcome tourists from abroad. Many of us feel a quiet pride in our country, our culture, traditions, and way of life. So when someone from another country shows genuine interest in Japan, we're honestly really happy about it. That's why I truly believe most Japanese people will try to help you if they see you struggling, even if they're shy or unsure how to communicate. Anyway, this has been a long explanation. But now you know why Japanese people can seem both cold and friendly at the same time. So, how can you get Japanese people to be more friendly toward you? Here's a little magic tip that will make your trip to Japan way smoother. After hearing everything I've explained so far, some of you might feel a little nervous about visiting Japan. But don't worry, there's a simple solution. It's this. Just smile and say something in Japanese. That's it. Believe it or not, Japanese people are super easy to warm up. If you start by saying even a single word in Japanese, they'll immediately feel more connected to you and open up. You don't need to speak fluent Japanese at all. The truth is, most Japanese people don't care at all about your accent or pronunciation. If you speak slowly and try your best, they'll understand that you're speaking Japanese, no problem. All you really need are just two simple phrases. Konnichiwa, hello, and sumimasen. Excuse me / sorry to bother you. That's it. If you say konnichiwa, sumimasen before asking a question, most Japanese people will respond kindly and do their best to help you. Why? Because starting with Japanese shows that you respect our language and culture. It shows you care. After that, you can switch to English or even your native language. Just speak slowly and clearly, and use gestures if you can. If you're lost or not sure which train to take, this little trick will usually get you the help you need. Anyway, that's all for now. If you're coming to Japan, try to enjoy the adventure. It's a whole new world with a totally different language and culture. And just so you know, when Japanese people go abroad, we feel the exact same way, like we've landed on another planet.